I actually do believe that the potential impact on humankind from a central bank digital currency uh, could and would be worse than the cumulative impact of cancer on humankind. The idea that governments, which from my point of view are too powerful and too inclined to war and too inclined to abuse today, would have a tool that would allow them to eliminate people's savings, people's medium of exchange, people's wealth, if those people didn't behave in the way that the big thinkers wanted, is terrifying.
According to Atlantic Council's CBDC tracker, 130 countries, representing 98% of global GDP, are exploring a CBDC. A little over 3 years ago, in May 2020, only 35 countries were considering a CBDC. Currently, a new high of 64 countries are in an advanced phase of exploration, development, pilot, or launch of a central bank digital currency. Though progress on retail CBDC has been stalled in the United States, experts are concerned that policymakers have every intention to develop and release one in the very near future. In fact, many believe the soon-to-be-released FedNow payment system is only the first stage toward the eventual release of a CBDC. According to the U.S. Federal Reserve, the FedNow service, which has been in the works since 2019, will help to eliminate the several-day lag it takes to settle cash transfers and modernize the country's payment system, allowing Americans to send and receive funds in seconds, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Several countries, including the United Kingdom, India, Brazil, and the European Union, have been using similar services for years. But renowned investor and speculator Rick Rule believes this is only the official narrative, and the United States is just a step away from the launch of a retail CBDC and the eventual erosion of personal freedom for all. According to Rule, the CEO and founder of Sprott Global Resource, a CBDC will give politicians the absolute tool to crush everyone who opposes their policies simply by cutting them off the financial system. The renowned speculator compares the impact that CBDCs will have on humanity to cancer and the development of nuclear weapons. He uses the example of China, where the digital yuan is being used by almost 300 million people in over 200 scenarios, including public transit, stimulus payments, and e-commerce. If the dictatorial Chinese Communist Party so much as deems a person out of line, they could easily cut them off from all financial services. And there have been too many examples of that happening already, even in life-threatening situations. Rule believes this is exactly what is coming for Americans and is concerned that not enough people are aware of the risks, no thanks to mainstream media's unabashed duplicity. As we bring you this powerful message from the renowned investor and speculator, please take a little time to share this video, give it a thumbs up, and subscribe to our channel for more. Also, ensure you drop your comments and observations in the comments section below, as it really helps with the YouTube algorithm. Thanks, and enjoy the video.
The combination of the fairly well-documented social scoring being undertaken now in the People's Republic of China, with the ability of central bank digital currencies with built-in features that make them cancelable, is absolutely scary. Remember, not too long ago, Daniela, Prime Minister Trudeau of Canada decided that people who had made contributions to a group that was opposed to him politically, the truckers of Canada, should have their bank accounts, their brokerage accounts, and some of their insurance products seized. These people had made these contributions, among other things, before Mr. Trudeau, without recourse to the courts, by the way, had retroactively made them illegal. And Mr. Trudeau used the power of the state to affect the outcome of a domestic political dispute. The idea that governments around the world would have the ability to silence political opponents or to punish people whose own actions were not in the interest of the big thinkers is absolutely terrifying to me. It's simply put, other than nuclear weapons, the worst idea I've ever heard. I don't know how much abuse or potential abuse the citizenry is willing to stomach. I really, truly don't. I actually view this as an existential threat to personal freedom and to personal liberty. I don't know what the political will of the American public will be with regards to giving the government really, truly breathtaking amounts of power over in individual activities. I really, truly don't know. I'm surprised that more people aren't horrified. I would ask people who voted happily for Biden how they would feel with Trump in control of this technology. I would ask people who voted for Trump how they would feel were Biden in control of this technology. If you want to look at where this could go, simply review the actions of Prime Minister Trudeau 3 or 4 months ago. My own belief, I guess taught me by 50 years as an adult watching politicians, is that their lust for power can't be diminished. And from the point of view of the political class, I think this is an amazing tool to accomplish whatever it is that they might want to accomplish. Were there voices, as an example, that were particularly effective about something convenient to the politicians, say quantitative easing, and those voices questioned the efficacy of the political class, it would be very tempting, were you a member of the political class, to silence that voice simply by confiscating his or her private wealth. I think that people need maybe to review the concept of the basic concept of what private wealth and private money is. Money is maybe a means of expressing your will. It's also a way that society keeps score. And I don't mean keep score in terms of who's ahead, but rather you become wealthy by providing goods or services that other people are willing to pay you for. They value that good and service more than they value their own private savings. You become wealthy by providing a good or service. And the idea that a group of politicians can cancel the benefit that someone has received by providing a good or service, by the way, canceling it obviously without the will of the person being canceled, that sounds almost like the dictionary definition of slavery.
During his interview with Stansberry Research, Rule gives his opinion on the BRICS alliance's goal of creating a gold-backed currency that would rival the dollar. When the interviewer asks why the alliance and their allies have not been more covert with their plans, Rule explains that the idea of standing up to the United States and the extraterritorial imposition of its will on other countries is very popular for domestic politics in many countries. In addition, he believes the publicity of the plans will spur the broad adoption of the proposed BRICS currency, as we can already see with the number of countries waiting in line to join the alliance. Rule also discusses the seemingly lackadaisical attitude of U.S. policymakers amidst all this, and the many internal and external threats to the dollar.
I think that if they're not concerned, they should be. De Gaulle described the United States' possession, if you will, of the reserve currency status as exorbitant privilege. It is precisely the fact that ours is the deepest, most liquid, most transparent financial market in the world that allows us to do the quantitative easing, which is to say the counterfeiting that we have done. We export our deficit to other countries as a sort of a fee that we get, we being Americans, get for maintaining the world's reserve currency. I need to say that the enemy of our status as a reserve currency is not cited in Moscow or Beijing or Buenos Aires or or Sao Paulo. It's cited in the United States. Mm-hmm. The weaponization of the U.S. dollar, the weaponization of the SWIFT banking system, the twin deficits and debts which erode confidence in U.S. Treasury securities means that the real threat to the dollar doesn't come from the BRICS. it comes from Congress and the voters. I think it's important in this discussion, too, Daniela, to clear up a misconception. They are describing a currency that's backed by gold, but they don't have enough gold to back the quantity of transactions that they expect to have transpire with this currency. What I think people should understand that this currency is denominated in gold. Backed by gold suggests, Danielle, that if you had 100,000, quote, bricks, that you could submit those bricks and they would give you the gold. Good luck with that. I'd love to see you, well, I would like to see you do this. You're my friend. But I'd love to see somebody who I didn't like fly over to Moscow with 100,000 bricks and say to Putin, I'll take my gold, please. It is a mistake to consider this to be a gold-backed currency because they don't have enough gold. It's a mistake, too, to think that they could acquire the gold because most of the countries that make up the so-called BRICS, every country, frankly, with the exception of China and Saudi Arabia, don't have economies that generate enough surplus that they could buy sufficient gold to back even a fraction of the currency that would be regarded to maintain their economy. I believe that you do probably need gold to back up every dollar. I suspect what this will evolve into is a multilateral trading mechanism that allows countries to settle surpluses and deficits between them as a way around the U.S. dollar. I do not believe that this will supplant the dollar, nor do I believe, frankly, that special drawing rights will supplant the dollar as a reserve currency in my lifetime. For the record, I'm 70. I do think that we're evolving into a multipolar world and that more societies will find ways to finance trade outside the dollar than they have done in the past. So I believe that the supremacy of the U.S. dollar will continue to be, quote, chipped away at. But I believe that we're moving towards a multipolar world, not a world dominated by the euro, the yen, or the BRICS.
Rather than being backed by gold, Rule thinks the BRICS currency will be priced in gold, which is still going to shift a lot of focus toward the leading precious metal and other precious metals. Precious metals like gold, silver, and copper will also provide adequate protection for investors trying to get out of the financial system to avoid being subjected to whatever devious Great Reset plans that our politicians and policymakers have in store for us. Let us know what you think about Rick Rule's interview in the comments section below. Also, ensure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on post notifications for more videos. Thanks for watching.